One of the many advantages of being here with all of you at St. Margaret of York is that I periodically run into former students during my high school teaching days. And it is interesting when I get to talk with them. Recently, I was talking to one, and they were remembering all these things I said in class, but not one of them had to do with the material I was teaching. Instead, they remember all the little quirks that any teacher has. And evidently, when we would go through a review for an exam or a test, I would go through the basic things, and then periodically I would stop and I would say, I'd know this if I were you. And they knew that was going to be an essay question on the test. And so this is what they don't want to remember what the essay was, or certainly how to answer it, but they remember I said that. In a more beautiful way, Jesus is kind of doing that in this gospel today. I imagine him pulling down his reading glasses and saying, I'd know this if I were you, because he begins by telling us three important things in order to be a disciple. Deny yourself, take up your cross, follow Jesus. Then he follows it up with a couple of parables to illustrate how that is done. But if you think about it, those three things, deny yourself, take up your cross, follow Jesus, basically it's a blueprint of what it means to be a person of faith in Jesus. In denying ourselves, we learn. We learn that we are not the center of the universe. We learn that sacrifice is difficult, but it can be beautiful. And with love, it can even be a joy. Sacrifice is part of life. We deny ourselves. We learn that we are not the center of it all, and that we are part of something really wonderful. And then take up our cross. This means that we accept. We accept the reality of life. We accept the difficulties and the pains of life. We accept the fact that at one point or another, probably all of us are going to suffer somehow. We accept the fact that we are limited people, that we are not perfect, and that the people around us are not perfect. We accept that and we embrace, as Jesus embraced the cross and took it on his own shoulders for our sake, that sometimes we just have to say, I will take this. I will accept this cross. And especially if it is something we cannot change, that we can fight it and fight it. But if it's real, if it's part of our life, then we have to learn to embrace that, to accept it, and to go on with it. And then finally, follow Jesus. This means we have to change, or at least be willing to change, and follow Jesus along his road. Or as that beautiful first reading from the Book of Wisdom ended, on the right path. We follow his path. And that might mean we do have to change, because we're going this way over here, and now we're supposed to go that way. And sometimes that takes great determination and tremendous courage. It's part of life, though, that if we want to be a disciple of Jesus, disciple meaning a follower, we have to go the way he goes. And that might mean that we have to change. Sometimes we have to change things rather radically. And so we are taught wonderfully in this gospel things we need to hear. Deny ourselves, take up our cross, follow Jesus, or perhaps more simply, to learn that we're not the center, to accept suffering as part of our lives, and to be willing to change. If you think of it, these are the blueprints of faith. Belief, trust, action, all put into force in the teaching of Jesus. Today, then, as we hear this wonderful gospel calling us to deeper faith, let us ask our Lord to help us be open to everything he's teaching us, so that we might learn that he is God and we are not, that we might accept the limitations and the sufferings of life, not be happy with them, but to accept them as part of our lives, and also to change what needs to be done in our lives, and perhaps to change even the trajectory of our lives so that we follow the path of Jesus. In doing this, we truly can become his disciples because we are following the teaching of Jesus. And I think he would want us to pay attention and know this if I were you.